My 24 male, pregnant girlfriend, 23 female, doesn't want me at the birth of my child. I need advice on how to handle this situation. Do I get a lawyer? So I was working on the road. I came home and met a girl that had 2 kids previously. We hung out a couple times and started sleeping together. She put on a good show. I met her while traveling, so I had to come back and forth from a different state. We first had sex on May 20th, and the baby's size is reading 7 days before that. I'm not sure if that's because of the last missed period or not, but if so, she would have gotten pregnant the first time we hooked up. I moved home and got us a house and started caring for her 2 kids as well as her. I let her quit her job at 20 weeks so she can stay home with her 2 kids. She gets money from her child's dad for child support, and the state for her child have birth defects. $1,500 a month. I told her I would pay the bills in the house if she saved her money and used it for things we needed. She did not listen at all. Every time she got a paycheck, she would go to Target and buy unnecessary things and eat out constantly. After 2 months of being in the house and struggling because I'm not getting enough hours at work, I'm starting to fall behind. I asked her for help, but she never had money. I then started to resent her because I felt like I was being used because of the situation I put her in. She couldn't help me at all. With all of this, she never leaves the house, and I'm gone from 4:45 in the morning until 6 to 7 at night. She has never cooked me dinner, she doesn't clean at all, and she's constantly just sitting on the couch on the phone with her friends, but never did anything to help me while I'm drowning. I decided one night I was gonna go out hang out with some friends, and she was not happy. When I was out with friends, she told me she was leaving me and going to get an apartment she could afford. I said okay, because I don't do the breaking up in arguments thing. She came back after sleeping on her friend's couch for 4 nights with her kids and told me she needed to stay with me till she found a place. I said okay because her kids need a house. We then would try to figure it out, but she just would get mad about anything I did that didn't involve me sitting in the house while I'm trying to find ways to make money to pay the bills. The next weekend, I went to shovel snow to pay rent, and she told me she was leaving me if I was not home by 8 p.m., so I told her to go. Because we can coparent at this point, I don't want to deal with it anymore. She leaves and is staying at her friend's. I told her she can stay in the house till she finds somewhere to go. She then tries to kick me out of my house and steal my car because her dad helped with a car part, and since she didn't have a car, she thought she was getting the short end of the stick when everything that we had was mine. I told her she could use it, but I'm in school, so she has to take me to school. Then, her mom calls me and tells me I'm not allowed to speak to her or have any contact because I'm rude and don't care. She also said she would be out of my house in a week and she won't take any of my stuff. Again, all I wanted was some help. So I said okay, and not even a day later, she's now wanting to work things out and try to make it better. I said no because I've been sleeping on a buddy's couch for over 2 weeks, so her kids didn't have to deal with any of this. The baby's due soon, and she's telling me I'm not allowed to be there, and I'm paying child support and can't see her till she's done breastfeeding. Do I get a lawyer? So I, 22 male, have never had sex or been in a relationship. My problems mostly stem from my parents. My parents had me when they were in their early 20s, and all throughout my childhood I was exposed to sex. My parents always talked openly about their sex life in front of me. There were times where they would have sex right next to me. There were also times where we would be watching TV or something, and they would leave me alone to go have sex, and I would always have a feeling of abandonment. To make matters worse, when I was 14, my father found out my mom was cheating on him. We ended up moving about 1,000 miles away from all my friends and family. I was enrolled into a new high school, but ended dropping out for being bullied. That's when I really started socially isolating myself. Because of the cheating, my father changed, and me and him grew apart, where it got to the fact where I wouldn't talk or even look at him. I ended up finding him hanging in our garage. He didn't leave a note, so I went on Facebook to see if he posted anything. That's when I found out he was living a second life with another girl and her kids. That was 4 years ago. Now in present day, I have a very negative look on sex. I feel like it's shameful, and I feel because of it, it has cost me my entire life. In a way too, though, I feel left out since most of my friends are in relationships or at the very least had sex. If people talk about sex, I get very awkward. I don't know if it's a lack of it, and that's why I'm awkward. I also view myself in a negative way as well and feel I'm not attractive enough for sex. I'd like to get to a point where I view sex positive and I'm not awkward or negative about it, and not view myself wrong for wanting sex. Any advice on how to change? Comment. Oh, I'm so sorry. I do think you need to seek professional help for all you've been through. No one in a forum can walk you through this. You really need a therapist, maybe medication? But that's not for me to say. Either way, I hope you know the way your parents moved around you was extremely selfish, inappropriate, and negligent. How could you not be uncomfortable talking about sex? How could you not feel abandoned? They repeatedly put other things before you, and you were just a kid. I hope you know you are totally normal. Nothing is wrong with you. This is a lifelong journey of healing you're embarking on. Please be gentle with yourself. What do you think about these stories? Write in a comment down below.